Alright, I usually don't do video clips of midstream unless I find issues, and in this case, big issues going on. When they built the curb, it looks like they may have used pressure-treated lumber. It's hard to tell because it's so saturated with water, it's green. This is just filthy, disgusting. This water in here is fully saturated, not only on the inside of the curb. You know, if I pull this up, it's just, look at that. It's just everywhere. It's on the outside of the curb as well. The Durarock that was used to embed inside here is wet as well. On the outside of the shower, definitely shouldn't be wet. In addition to, obviously, the inside of the shower, the Durarock here is saturated as well. One of the reasons for that saturation, besides they used ceramic tile on the top of this curb and it was crap and they didn't do a good grouting job and all the other issues, is because they actually set this Durarock inside of the pan. If you can see here, actually a lot of this Durarock came out from here. So the Durarock was actually set inside of the pan first, and then this tile was butted up against it, which is kind of back assward. So what you're doing is you're allowing all the moisture that's inherently in pans anyway to absorb into this porous surface, which is Durarock, and it's going to come up, and at the worst case scenario, it's going to pop off your tile. When it gets so saturated, it degrades the thin set that's holding the tile. If there is thin set, sometimes, you know, people use, I don't know what they use here. Looks like they may have used adhesive. Doesn't look like thin set. Anyway, but besides which, it's already saturated. There is water and content in this pan that's just ridiculously huge. I mean, it's almost as if I just took a glass of water and poured it inside here. This trough is full of water. This is the outside edge of your pan. When it slopes down to the drain, there are weep holes around the drain. That water is supposed to just follow natural paths of the weep holes. So all shower pans are going to have somewhat, you know, moisture content, but nothing to the extent of this. It's all the way down in this trough. And then, of course, look at that, it's just wet. Then, of course, you have insult to injury, which is actually introducing a porous surface into your water, which is inherently where your tile goes. In addition, this customer had issues downstairs. Right below us is a foyer where you walk inside the door, and there are wet spots down there where it's leaked before. So, many reasons for that. None of the least of which is that this whole thing is saturated with water, and down in the corner here is probably where the water egressed down into the ceiling. But also, where this bench used to be, they perforated the pan, which you never do. You're not supposed to perforate it with nails or a razor knife or anything. So what they did is they wrapped this curb halfway, which is kind of stupid. But once they wrapped the curb, they went, oh wow, we got to still put this shower pan up. So they did a cut, and I don't even know where the cut stops, but it's way down here in the corner, and they cut away from the pan originally and gave this huge gap. Of course, they butted up against here with the Durarock, but hello, you got moisture inside here, so the moisture just naturally runs right between there, down onto the plywood and down into the ceiling. So I'm 99% sure that's where the problem came from, most of the problem, but you know, this shower, had it been here for a couple more years, would have had more problems anyway. So, yeah, you know, just do the job right the first time, and you don't have to go through this again. Well, another little interesting thing, I only got started taking these doors out. Remember I told you the curb wasn't angled inward. The other problem with having that is that you have a lot of organisms that will live under that. I've seen little tiny organisms that have flourished up under that wet spot because there's no angle on the curb and the inside caulking wasn't done. But I've never seen a worm. This is actually a first. This worm doesn't look like he's living anymore, but you know, he came from somewhere. Yeah, it's pretty funny. The Durarock that was put under there is about the only thing that has saved this curb, but I'm going to take a look at this curb here in a second. If I can find my tripod. Durarock that was put under here is 1/2 inch, but it's not sufficient. There's no red guard on it. Very little thin set on the tile itself. You can see how easily that came up. In fact, watch this. You know, just hardly any effort whatsoever, and I'm able to just pull these loose. So it's just not really doing well at all. This Durock, likewise, is not done well at all. It comes up really easily. There is part of the shower pan. It was never wrapped, and it looks like they used plywood here. So they plywooded. Let me see what's under this shower pan. So they used 2x4s. They put plywood on the outside, put Durock on it, and then wrapped it. And didn't wrap the shower pan all the way around it anyway. So there's moisture in there here big time, and there shouldn't be moisture on your curb. Interesting. So there you are, home builder.